International Conference in the Chat Input Julu University and an integral part Julu of doing it for Chat Input Julu totally lost here. What are you saying? Julu in the URL left turns into the environment and TNTU if you live with interns and installation and 20 points and totally lost share 1 is I and our son has 21 points in the 58 and 19. We're lost 2 points here are the ing 723 points you think will be working. Julu the need to know. Julu to 1. Julu are you there? Julu in Julu cache end.
There has to be
Julu
more to it than this.
Can Julu and this was in chat input.
For example,
Julu UZ1 is far end.
For
Julu
example,
beyond some friendly. Julu
for example,
this was far and beyond something different.
for example,
Julu different.
for
Chat
example,
input. Chat input.
for example,
Chat input. Julu hell are you they? Julu only
you
time you have your project indication that reason you went 2022 June 2023%.
in the
Julu
history of
in the reality
world,
market between you and
in
your
reality,
international
the
conference online and the university of an
markup
integral part.
between us
Chat
and
input.
then is
Julu.
something else
Julu
entirely.
in the URL. The iron and TNT you live in time for information and 20 points. 21. Julu
We're
you've begun in 19.
losing
Chat
track
input.
of this.
Julu 22
But I
points during
see
early 19.
It up
Chat input.
above
Julu
and
23
here
points in the work.
far below
Julu can Julu
and our
point you need to know.
point you
Julu.
need to know.
Okay,
Okay,
Julu. This is the darkest time in the history of the world. Can
what is the point you need
chat
to
input.
know?
Chat input.
We're getting to where we used to be
Julu.
when we were.
This is by far the
We're
darkest time in the
disappointed
history of the world. Julu. Is it necessary for a period here?
The obfuscation of this
Julu.
is documented
Please
well
respond me now when
within
you
the
can.
interiority of this
Julu.
protocol
And
that we call radicals
Julu.
when we're listening to
for the
ourselves
timeless is something
within a
that
virtual
Thailand
world
for the
which is
time
no
to
longer
respond
in
when you can
abeyance
assist
or
something from that the
appearance
market
we can
economics
see.
or county
We're
room to remove
determined
there.
to be somewhere where we are.
Julu. Vastly more to attend s. Julu. For example to hold for example, Herrick for example
To hold
dead.
whatever example there is.
Julu. For example in 10. Julu.
Respond to me. Don't
For
just keep
example
repeating
then.
what I'm saying.
Julu.
Men
For
are
example and for
fortunate in
example
all.
10.
Okay. We're
Julu.
disappointed internal.
Oh.
We're getting where
Julu.
we used today when we're
For era.
We're disappointed
Julu.
internal.
Of the worst time in the Julu. History of the world in
Respond to
reality
me,
the
don't just
market
keep
markup
repeating what
between
I'm
us
saying.
and then. Julu.
Men are fortunate
That's
all
something
okay.
else.
We disappoint an internal organ
Julu.
where we use today.
Entirely.
Where we're work,
Julu.
we're disappointed
This is the worst
internal.
time in the history of the world.
Response, male,
In reality
does
the
keep
market
repeating
markup between us and then is something else entirely
what I'm
nest pa.
saying.
Julu. And vast hall. Julu. Were. Julu.
Response what I'm saying.
Losing track
One
of
sign.
this. Julu.
Or
But I see in our about.
After we were disappointed
Julu.
in internal organ,
And here in our.
we're reduced to do
Julu.
where
You
we
all.
work, we're disappointed
Julu.
internal.
We're losing track of this but I hear it up above and see it far
I
above.
heard above it, I see it,
Julu.
And in any
Then
case,
are.
here it is going.
Julu. Men are. Julu. Fortunate in all. Julu. Okay. Julu.
Children.
Or disappoint an internal. Julu. We're getting to where we used today when we were.
Disappointing word,
Julu.
disappointing internal
We're
children.
disappointed internal. Julu. Not discouraged novices documented well within the interior RV of this protocol that we call run against Monroe was into ourselves within a virtual world which is no longer in advance or appearance or we can see.
We're getting to
Julu.
where we used today.
We're
when
determined
we were
to be somewhere
disappointed.
where
We're
we are.
disappointing internal children
Julu.
and internal children.
Julu. To hold whenever example there is. Julu. Respond to me and I'll just keep repeating what I'm saying. Julu. Men are fortunate all okay would disappoint an internal organ where we use today when we're disappointed internal. Julu. Response male does keep repeating what I'm saying.
Response male
Julu.
does keep repeating what
That
I'm
our fortunate
saying.
alter would disappoint an internal organ we're reduced to do and where we're disappointed internal. Julu.
Don't give me a hard time.
Response
over it.
smelled the skipper pinch. Julu. Run sign.
What was that?
Julu.
Ran.
Response from salmon runs on.
Ran.
Julu.
What was that then when?
The warrant for the whole Earth orbit
What was
fortunate
that
than
when?
organs were uncomfortable row work for
Listening.
different than the internal.
When was that then?
Julu.
When was that when?
Order of ownership of immigration
Owner of-
honors. 2.
Immigration.
Julu.
Immigration. Ownership.
Men are.
I was
Julu.
9.
2 fortunate in
I
all.
was 9 in really
Julu.
immigration ownership.
Children.
Children.
Julu.
I was
Okay.
9 to 1 of 9
Julu.
million. Job ran.
Children were disappointing internal.
Children
Julu.
were disappointing of internal.
Children.
Children.
Julu. We're getting to where we use today when we were disappointed we're disappointing internal children and internal. Julu.
The job
Children.
disappointing jaunt around.
Julu. Not discourage novices documented well within the interior RB of this protocol that we call run against Monroe was into ourselves in a virtual world which is no longer in advance for appearance where we can see we're getting to where we're used to deter when we're disappointed or disappointing internal children and internal children who. Julu. Controlled whenever example. Julu.
Julu.
Shall respond in control when a resemblance a. Nearby avatars. Julu. Mentor for GOP would disappoint an intern working where we use today where we're disappointed. Julu. I think you can see. Julu. Response now goes to prepare the ones I'm on the. Julu. On. Julu. Show you consider this. Julu. Probably are John Romero and. Julu. Ran. Julu. What was that when? Julu. Run was at them when was that when? Julu. I was 9 in runways at them when was that when he's on arrival here in aggression. Julu. Immigration ownership. Julu. I was 9 to 1 of 9 million aggression ownership here. Julu. Job ran. Julu. Out as much 1 of 9 million jobs ran. Julu. Java or disappointing of the internal children. Julu. John Duran. Julu. The job are disappointing jaunt around. Julu. The jobs and disappointing jaunt around. Julu. While listening to jobs and disappointing jaunt around. Julu. The corner down swallows into jobs and disappointing job around. Julu. The corner down swallows and some jobs until. Alan Dojoji, 15 meters in front of you, is male. Julu. July O'Share. Julu. In the avatars. Julu. Mentor for GOP would disappoint an intern working where we use today where we're disappointed.
Where we're disappointed today.
I think you can see. Julu.
Julu.
Resellers and others to prepare the ones I'm on a.
Resellers and
Julu.
others to prepare the ones
On.
the jury summons as to
Julu.
protect.
Show you
15,
consider
18.
this. Julu.
Shall you protect 15,
Probably
18?
are John
Resellers
Romero
must
and.
prepare there was a jury
Julu.
summons.
Ran.
This project should be
Julu.
maintained to show
What was that when?
project from the media
Julu.
Zealous has.
Run was at them when was that when?
Listening,
Julu.
listening.
I was 9 in runways at them when was that when he's on arrival here in aggression.
In the runway,
Julu.
in aggression,
Immigration ownership.
immigration ownership.
Julu.
This project should give.
I was 9 to 1 of
something that
9
has to
million
be
aggression
maintained if we
ownership
can
here.
maintain it.
Julu.
Julu.
Job
And run
rent.
more is an aggression in
Julu.
making them. In making
Out as
them.
much 1 of 9 million jobs ran.
Ran.
Julu.
In making them ran.
Java or disappointing of the internal children.
Java are disappointing in the
To
internal
look.
children, the internal children, the
Julu.
internal children, the
John
internal
Duran.
children, John Duran,
Julu.
the internal children,
To
the
look.
internal children.
Julu. The
John
job
Duran,
are disappointing
the internal
jobs
children,
around.
The internal children.
Julu.
The internal children.
To look.
John Duran.
Julu.
Listening.
To jobs and
Listening.
disappointing jobs
Listening.
around.
Listening.
Julu.
Listening.
To look.
Listening.
Julu. While listening to jobs and disappointing jobs around. Julu. The corner down swallows into jobs and disappointing job around. Julu. Children acquire down swallows and some jobs until. Julu. Alan to judge the 15M in front of you.
We'll
Julu.
do that now.
Is
then.
male.
We'll do that now.
Julu. Children.
Children.
Julu. July O share. Julu. Any avatars? Julu. Children mentor for GOP would disappoint an intern working where we use today where we're disappointed if that means they.
We're definitely
Julu.
disappointed. The
Two jury
GOP
summons
today,
that is
the
to
GOP
protect
today.
1518.
The GOP today.
Julu.
The GOP today.
Chris Ellis must prepare there was a jury summons of this project should be maintained.
The jury summons
Julu.
absolutely.
To Sherry
retained
project
tickets
from the media
immediately.
as Ellis has propelled was originally summons ran.
The Supreme
Julu.
Court voted against this.
This project should we maintain tours are given project from the radios Ellis has rented and listen and last night was made last night and was even when I was 9 and runways. Julu. And Ron Moore is an aggression in making them aggression ownership these projects and everything I did something has to be maintained as we can maintain it. Julu. July 2nd and one horse in the Gresham and making them in and around and making them run. Julu. Into. Julu.
Into.
Job were disappointing in the internal children gender unknown children John Durand internal children to. Julu. The John Deere and internal children John Durand was named to listen and Julu. Listen and Julu. His knee end. Julu Twine, 0 meters to your left, is female.
Can live in small.
Alan
and
Dojoji, 15 meters in
will
front
that
of you,
now.
is male. Julu. Can live in small.
And
Julu. And.
she will do that now.
Julu.
Will do that now. She and
She will do that now, that will do that now, she.
Terms.
Julu. And children and she and.
Alan Dojoji,
Julu.
15 meters
In terms.
front of you.
Julu. Of children and workers in they.
Alan
Julu.
Dojoji, 15
Windows Linda
meters in
support the
front of
danger
you.
of AIDS and other GOP agenda 1830 Robinson said the GOP agenda end. Julu. The jury summons absolutely huge gains and estimated only. Julu. The Supreme Court voted against those teams. Julu. And. Julu. Was. Julu. They.
The Enron receivers and much.
Enron
these
receivers and much
projects
these projects 3 days in the beginning. Julu. July 2nd, one was much. Julu. Answer would. Julu. Change intent of. Julu. The John Deere and internal children John Dorrance was meant to listen and listen. Julu. And listen and. Julu. In prison and. Julu. You were. Julu. In. Julu. Turn live and small end. Julu. Actual that now. Julu. And. Julu. And. Julu. An actual do that now will do that now she and children and see under terms. Julu. In an island of Jersey 50M in front of you. Julu. Can. Julu. Challenge of George and then the majors in front of you. Julu. And. Julu. You can. Julu. And. Julu. Was. Julu. In the Enron receivers and marched New Zealand projects the 3 dozen beginning. Julu. July 2nd and I was much. Julu. Answer want. Julu. Transcends end of. Julu. A job and children and grandchildren and enjoy life. Julu. And. Julu. In the. Julu. Main. Julu. You are. Julu. Too small end.
Alan Dojoji. I will leave you. I will leave you now.
Julu. You. Julu. How do you plan to do this? Congratulations. Julu. Two.
Alan. I will leave you. I will leave you now.
Julu. Do you think your plan will succeed? Right now, do you think your plan will succeed?
Alan. I will leave you. I will leave you now.
Julu. Would you recommend this action to a friend? Right now, how do you plan to do this?